Alrighty, welcome to the first episode of TCG Talk Show. My name is Marcus. I will be your host. I'm joined by my co-hosts. Want to introduce yourself?
My name is Christos. I'm playing Lorcana with these guys for a year now.
Yeah, just do
You know, I've been playing for like 2 months.
it. Yeah, you started just before Toronto.
Yeah.
Alright, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Nick. Yeah, I'm pretty new to this game, but cooking.
Yeah, so we all came together after playing a bit of Lorcana together. So I've been playing Lorcana since March of this year. Right at like set 3 chance was my first tournament I ever went to. Got Keith's blue steel deck, and then I was addicted to blue because I come from Yu-Gi-Oh! And playing all my cards in winter is the best. So
I want to do as much degenerate stuff as possible.
yeah, absolutely.
How'd
How'd you get into Lorcana?
I was playing Magic. I was playing, for those of you that know Magic, I was playing Modern. And Modern sucks right now. It's, in my opinion, it's pretty horrendous. They printed a bunch of cards that just sped up the game to the point where you had to have very specific cards in every single deck or you just could not compete. This is about the time where Lorcana, the starter decks for set 1 were just coming out. And I was like, we'll try this game. Our local card store, Critical Hit Gaming Lounge, and they were hosting some events for the starter deck. So I went and got a starter deck, and they had a really good community right off the bat. So I just kept playing, and the games were really fun. It's just been a good time. Good people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I've been liking it. Like I started when set 5, like right when before set 5 came out.
Yeah, you played like the last set 4 tournament. You played like the side events for Toronto. Right?
Yeah. So like I didn't get to play in the main event because I found the tournaments on Saturday.
Yeah. Toronto was set 5, though, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, so step 5 was legal. I didn't get to play. I think I started playing on the Thursday before the Toronto tournament because you were playing at locals and I was playing the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. I came from that game. It was just silly time. But yeah, I saw you playing. I was like, oh, dude, what's going on in this? Because I remember we looked at them like a year ago, and I was like, I don't know. The game's cool. The game's at first I didn't love it when it was like the early sets because it was just like too.
Me and you got into it before like the cards were printed. Like, I remember getting into this. Like as cards were getting released, like as we didn't know the rules.
Yeah, we were
yet.
printing the pictures off of Twitter. Like,
dude, I should print only because I
Yeah.
found the box I used to keep all of the proxies in.
Yeah.
One more thing. This is our
boy.
This year we got Moose.
This is our boy Moose. Yeah.
Moose is he's gonna be hanging out.
Destroying this toy here.
Yeah, he's destroying this toy like I'm gonna destroy the set 6 metagame.
I don't know.
We'll talk about that later.
I don't know, man.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, like the game's good. The game's like early on, it was way too slow. It just wasn't even. I don't know. It wasn't too fun to play with. But when set 5 and you could actually like start to have cool interactions, it was worth checking out, I guess.
Yeah, you've been really liking that Diablo card.
Oh, dude, that card's so sick. Like I didn't realize how broken that card was. I started playing the red blue deck because Marcus gave me a red blue deck.
Yeah.
Is that card
It's all I
broken
had.
though?
I don't know if it's broken. Like
my issue with Diablo being broken, and if we wanted the main topic number 1 is Diablo broken. I think Diablo is broken currently for Lorcana standards because it's the only card that punishes other people's draw engines. There's no other card in the game that is like, you draw cards, so I draw cards, and like I'm going to prevent you from just trying to get any form of advantage.
I will say that I think the card came a little bit too early in the game for an effect this powerful. I don't think the card is broken because there are multiple ways to deal with the card.
The removal being like, everything does the removal, right? Like there being answers to the card doesn't make it not broken.
For example,
there's answers to Hiram, but Hiram's broken.
there's way less answers to Hiram.
Way fewer answers to Hiram.
Hiram is
the thing with Diablo, right? So Diablo 2 health is huge because it dies to fire the cannons. In theory, with the new set, it dies to what was it? Twin fire.
Yeah. Cards
right?
like
It dies to grab your swords. And the biggest thing, Brawl hits it. Brawl is a removal spell that people play also for Hiram. Right? Brawl is the worst, best removal spell.
But every card you just named,
every red deck is playing 3 at least. Mostly
my hidden code sounds so crazy in every card you just named, bro. Like, it's like no, like I don't even think Diablo's broken, man. Like it's good. It's a good card, obviously, but like I don't think it like the only downside to the card is I feel like it does warp the game a little bit, which usually that's like a sign the card's broken. Is like if everybody has to like build their deck around that card existing.
Diablo on your deck? or you're playing Diablo.
Well, I think
Yeah.
I don't even think. I think it's literally you're playing an answer Diablo because like the green deck's still going to do the same thing. Like in Seattle, like what was it? What was the Baboom was mained in the winning deck because it's like you can't not have an answer to the card. But I don't think it's broken because like it's so much. There's so much setup required. Like the play line into Cove on turn 2 into like Ursula and asking you to have removal is a little silly. But it's like there's a lot of 4-card combos that are broken. Like the blue deck going Popsicle on 1 into Tipo on 2 into third turn 3 Hiram draw 2 and no deck having any answer to a 6 health card on turn 3 is just as absurd. And if they like, and by that point, if they start to hit like more item drops, it's like you're never catching up. Like because the only way you can stop that deck from winning the game is just like
if you Diablo on 2, you catch up.
And not even though, like
because you just draw 2 cards. With
no,
it.
but
You
it's
draw
this is
one.
the
in order to get Diablo that quickly, you have to discard an action. You have to have the action.
You have to have the item. You have to have the ramp. Like
no, I agree, but that's what I'm saying. Every 4-card combo, like all these 4-card combos are broken. The biggest difference, though, I think, with specifically with Hiram, is that like I don't know, like that post that you guys are talking about, that set 6 stuff. I looked at it earlier, and like the red blue deck or the green steel deck into the red blue deck, according to Ink Decks, is still a 26% matchup, which is like. It's not that bad for green steel.
For reference, we're talking about it's like a metagame shakedown for set 6 is like percentage wise.
Yeah.
So red blue is currently at 58% win rate.
Inkdex.com put out their matchups.
Yeah, and the green steel deck tactically it says 26%. It's not that unfavored for green steel, but it's heavily unfavored because it's like your only win con. You can't aggro them out of the game. Like you can't aggro the blue red deck into like gaining like 15 lore and put pressure on them early. Like it's not a real thing for the green steel deck to do.
Green steel doesn't really aggro.
No, exactly.
That's one of the problems.
So your only win con in that matchup is ripping their hand and keeping them off of cards.
I think that's true. I think if you Ursula at the right time, there.
Yes, but you have to Ursula. Exactly, but you have to discard their hand. That's what I'm saying. Is you have to keep them off of answers, and the more you let them get to ink. So like if they just start drawing too many cards with Hiram, you can't out the Hiram. And if they get to 7 ink, you're both in a top deck spot where every one of their top decks is so much more live than yours are. And like, that's what I mean is like Diablo in theory, I don't think it's broken. I think the card's really good, but like, it doesn't like, it warps the game in a little bit where you have to find outs for it. But like Hiram literally is also that. We just don't have outs for it. Like there's not like, it's not like,
as many.
That's what I mean. Like what's the best out for Hiram?
Brawl.
Yeah. That card also has Diablo.
And you're forced to play, if you're not playing Brawl, suboptimal removal to answer a bomb card. But we've seen this in other games, like in Magic, we see this, admittedly more in something like a sideboard, where Lorcana does not have, which is a big difference. So you're having to play these cards in the main deck, and you're not either siding them in after game 1, or somebody will play them in the main deck and side them out.
Yeah.
And you can match up if they're bad. We don't have that option. It comes down to the cards that are inkable or not inkable. Like Fire the Cannons, for example, is an uninkable card.
Yeah.
You don't want that card in like the blue-red matchup. It's horrendous. It's nothing.
Another big thing, I think, because my point for why Diablo isn't broken isn't because Hiram is a card that exists that's also broken. Like that's like, but I don't think Diablo's broken because its shift line is very good. I don't think the card's broken because the not shift line or the decks that are going to play Diablo, that when they don't get to shift Diablo, they get so much worse, like right away. Like you take
not shifting Diablo is like the worst.
Yeah, and like Diablo is so good that you're willing to be like, okay, like if I don't shift Diablo, my deck's a lot worse. But I don't care. Like, and it's like you don't care. But I don't think a card's broken if like for it to be absurd, I need them to draw kind of suboptimally, and I have to have like a 4-card combo. Like that's just like I don't know. That's for a lot. I think the card's really good. I don't think it's broken. I don't think it needs to be banned. I don't think anything like that.
I don't think it needs to be banned. I just think I think not calling it broken is incorrect because there's very obviously broken cards in the game. And I think this card isn't broken. It's
not broken though.
A card that lets you draw unconditionally is pretty broken.
I know, but I think
what is the blanket definition of broken? Like, does that mean that only cards that draw cards are broken?
No,
obviously not.
I think the card.
So what does broken actually mean? For Lorcana right now.
I think a card that for it to be broken, it has to warp the meta where you have to have answers for it. And 1, the decks there isn't efficient answers, there isn't good answers to it. And 2, it's unwinnable positions when you come back. Like if this card resolves, it's like it puts you in these unwinnable positions where like no deck can catch up. Which I think Diablo's close. I think Diablo like it gets you into some positions like that. But I think one of the big
hits most of those criteria. Like, yes, it has efficient removal.
But specifically because red blue was the most popular deck in the last format, like that deck didn't often get put into unwinnable positions. Like it's still like even when the Diablo drew a ton of cards, if you can't stop them on their ink, like if their ink gets to like 8 ink anyway, and they can Sisu you and they can B prep you, if they have an out to like the only answers you really have in those spots are Hidden Cove, and like if you don't see Hidden Cove or you don't see like or if they can out the Hidden Cove with like a Maui and then Sisu you, like it doesn't matter how many cards I drew. Like it's good, like I'm still not out of the game, but like I don't think the card's broken if the best deck if you have a poor matchup into the best deck in the room that's taking up most of the representation. How can my card be broken? Like my card, like
I don't think that makes the card not broken.
No, but that's my point. Is like I think it has to like the card would have to be like
the card's so broken into every other deck.
No, but like I just think every other deck is bad. Like that's the problem. It's not. I don't think a card is broken just because all the other cards suck.
I agree with that sentiment.
It did just come out like a 2-game format, or like a 2-deck format. Like it was like blue red. Like green steel was like the 2 best decks.
Yeah.
And then like everything else was just underneath
A
it.
little bit. Like Steel Song was still like that got a lot of bad rap, but it was still good.
Multiple Steel Song variants like that location list.
Yeah.
At the last.
Yeah, that's not really Steel Song, right? That's like that location was
Amber Steel.
But in those colors,
yeah.
Like against that deck, Diablo is almost irrelevant.
Yeah. You can't go with
Diablo's actually actively bad.
I was saying this going into Seattle that like locations were super underrated.
Yeah.
That's why I was trying to get everyone on McDuck Manor. But like it's I don't know. I don't think the card like I think the card has to be like, oh, no one can out it, and like if this resolves, it not auto wins, but like you're in such a favorable position that it's hard to lose, which Diablo does a lot of the time. But if the most represented and the best deck in the room, if it doesn't even do that against that deck, which means most of the time it's not even meeting those right criteria, then it's like it's not broken. The other big thing is like I don't understand when everyone was talking about like the ban Diablo. It's like did everyone just want to play Red Blue Mirrors all day? Like,
I don't think the card should be banned. I think the card should be banned at all. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I think the card I think when people are like that card's not broken, I think those people are also just as crazy as people are like that card needs to be banned because I don't think anything in this game needs to be banned. The Bucky stuff was a little degenerate, but they changed it. And, like that was probably good for the health of the game.
Bucky
like conversation in general is that neither of y'all brought it up for it being broken, but I think it's important. Is the actual biggest broken part about that card? No, it's not even. That's good. It's the fact that sometimes it is a draw like 2 to 3 to 4, and it costs you 1 ink.
Yeah,
and that is the most broken part of the card. Is that like the ink cost on that card where it's almost free is crazy. The big problem though is like hypothetically the reason I don't think Diablo is also broken is just because like okay, you go turn 1 Diablo, you go turn 2 shift Diablo by discarding a card. You've now invested 3 cards into this. For them to be able to fire the cannons it or they brawl it or whatever, and at best Diablo is getting you 1 draw on those spots to replace 1 of your cards. It's like they go 1 card, you drew a card, they used a card. So they've used 2 and I've gotten rid of 3 and it's a -1 at the end of it all. But that is like often enough. That's why Cove in the 4-card combo, that combo is a little broken. But the just straight up like you need so many things to go right for your Diablo to be broken. Mm-hmm. It doesn't need to be just like it's not like I play Diablo, shift Diablo on 2 and then pass to you and I always win the game. Like that's because like you go turn 3 boom, you go turn 3 brawl. If I'm on the play or sorry on the draw or whatever, like and I'm like trying to do this well behind and you started with a Diablo shift and you sing a Storm Rage into it, it's like my card isn't even broken like against itself. Like it's just like I don't know.
So I think the problem that a lot of people have with Diablo, and I really don't think Diablo should be banned either, but what I will say is that it creates a lot of non-games.
Yeah. So
if you shift the Diablo, if you're on the play and you shift Diablo, and they don't have the brawl, they don't have the fire the cannons, they lose.
Yeah.
If my only answer, I played blue-red for a while, Marcus has played blue-red, still playing blue-red, right? Still your main deck right now?
Probably right now, probably. I'm trying to play a bunch
like
of
I played blue-red for a while, and I went back to purple-red, and now I'm trying some jank and trying to make it work, but having played blue-red, the problem was if you didn't find the brawl and they played the Diablo, now you're just like, well, if Hiram is my only play on 3, am I going to play nothing? Am I going to play my Hiram and not draw the cards? No, you're probably going to play the Hiram and draw the cards. So now you're giving them all these cards. And yes, your cards are theoretically better, but if the bird is drawing you 5, 6 cards, the game feels really, really over. It kind of creates non-games right off the bat.
It can.
It can, and that's the problem. It's not that it most of the time it does, it's that it can. And Magic has had that problem too, where your decks are banned or cards are banned because they might only have a 45% win rate, but that when they hit the 45%, it's unlosable.
I just mean like these are like 4-card combos, and like a lot of other these big combos, or not these big combos, but like there are so many other scenarios where it feels like you just lose. Like if you're playing the blue-red deck and you're playing hyper aggro and they go Daisy into Lilo Maleficent and you didn't find Brawl, you also lost. Like if you didn't find if you're playing against the blue-red deck and they go first and they go Popsicle Tipo Hiram and you don't have a Brawl to brawl their Hiram and they get to just Hiram multiple times, you've also lost the game. So it's like every deck has like these good plays or you wouldn't play them. Like it's the red in the purple red deck, like if I get to go Flynn Sisu and you don't have an out to my Flynn Sisu into Castle or Genie or Rabbit or whatever it is, it's like, yeah, you also lose. It's like,
but having that problem myself.
No, and that's what I mean. It's like
very powerful.
I think Diablo is really good. I think it just lets you play like the green decks and have good a good green deck. Like I don't think the card's broken. I don't think the card it's very good. But like this is again, like I didn't play this game when the card sucked because it's just like who wants to play quest pass. Like it's whatever.
So set 1 and 2 was actually I really liked that.
No, like
I didn't have the cards back then to play the stupid stuff.
No, like I don't really know what the meta was like, but
yeah, because like
it was a 2-deck meta.
We were saying Nick and I played like maybe 5 games with printed proxies, and we didn't have the full card pool. So like, we were playing like I was like, I'll go
quest pass. Yeah, just
like,
whatever
a bunch of random stuff,
whatever cards we could find. So it was like whatever cards we knew about. But that's what I mean. Is like I don't know. I feel like this happens a lot in card games. I know it happened in Yu-Gi-Oh all the time. It's like people have a tendency as soon as a card gets good, like we get a new card released, it's really good, and everyone's like, "Oh, that card's broken. Should ban it. Do something." It's like, do you just want to play with bad cards? Like I don't get it.
Well, you know what's funny is the most recent card that everyone was screaming at that was going to ruin the game was the Maui Shark.
Yeah.
And I have not really seen anyone succeed with that card yet. There's been a few. I've seen people play it on like Dreamborn and stuff. Yeah. Card has been underwhelming. It feels win more. Feels like if they're playing that card and they're winning, they would have won without it.
This is maybe a question you might be able to answer because I don't know Magic super well, but I remember just early on when I tried to play a little bit of Magic, there was people talk about like build around cards. Like Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't really.
Well, that would be
have
like your
that
finishers.
Fully type deal. Yeah,
well,
like
you have your starters and your
extenders.
Your
yeah.
What's the next thing? It's like superior extenders.
Yeah, you have like
so your build around is your finisher.
Yeah, it's more just like you play like an engine, and your engine gets to X result, and that result is like your win condition of your deck. Whereas like Magic, because Yu-Gi-Oh is so tutorable, like searchable.
Everything's a search card.
Yeah,
there's the draw cards in Yu-Gi-Oh are so powerful because everything is just searches.
But that's what I'm wondering is like, for Magic had like build around cards. And basically, this is how this came up. This is exactly why I figured this out. Was I was randomly trying to learn to play Magic, started buying packs, and I pilled a card. It was Glory something. I don't know. It's basically like you get an extra turn.
You get an extra turn. You lose an extra.
Yes, exactly. It was like It was like the Boros colors or whatever. And I was like,
it's red and 2.
Yeah,
I know exactly what.
And I tried.
It doesn't say you get an extra turn. It says end of the turn.
Yeah.
So you play it on your opponent's upkeep.
Yeah.
And you end their turn, but then you lose at the end of your next.
Yeah, it was something like that, and I was like, "Oh, this card's super cool. I want to like sort like I was like, I want to try a thing." And somebody was describing the card as like a build around. Like that's a card that like you are building your deck around.
I would agree.
And
there are people that have done it. The deck is like fun. It's not super.
No, and that's kind of where I'm at with Maui Shark. Is I feel like right now that card has kind of just been like thrown into red blue decks and thrown into whatever. Whereas I feel like that's a card like if you're playing it, you build your deck around it. Like
I was saying this at Toronto. Sorry, I was saying this at the Seattle tournament. Seattle, right?
Yeah.
The most recent one. And I was saying this that people like you'd have to cut nines. You have to play a bunch of actions. Yeah. Where if you play the shark, you just play a bunch of actions. You spam it, right? What do you think about that?
So
blue red.
I agree. The Sailor's done a really good job. He's playing in like the Cross Continental Challenge right now.
Yeah.
He put in the 2 Maui Shark, and he's cut Fishbone Quill to play 1 Let It Go, 1 Dragonfire, and 1 Pirate's Life.
Which I say we cut Let It Go, like, or not Let It Go, Fishbone Quill like a month ago,
Yeah,
like right before
we
Seattle.
definitely-
Before Seattle, I said no one should play that card, but like, it's fine.
It was necessary.
But he's been. But the reason why he did it is because like now you just have access to all these other broken actions that like you never wanted to play in multiples over other stuff, but you wanted to fit them in the deck because they out things that you need to out. So like, Let It Go is great into like blue Mufasa decks, like just catch all removal. Like it's like same thing with Dragonfire,
Yeah.
like very good like catch all removal that you want to play in this deck,
Yeah.
but you can never fit. And Pirate's Life is a singleable 6-cost card that changes the lore integer by 4. Because you gain 2, you won't lose 2.
Yeah.
It's really good into aggro.
Yeah. Well, 5 you the magic.
Oh yeah, with the magic.
Yeah.
Right, and so it's like now you're gonna play all these kind of like these cool one-offs that you find off of visions, or like you're gonna draw to them off of Hiram. Where like he's found a very flawless way to put it into the deck without like hitting the deck's core concepts.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Is that, and that's what I mean. Is like I feel like if I wanted to play that card though, I would steer harder into that. Like because I agree. I think that's the pros of the card. Is like you have these almost toolboxy options with it. But I don't like cards. I typically don't like cards that need other cards just like for them to be good.
2-card combos, especially in a game like this, like don't feel good. And maybe that's like the Yu-Gi-Oh players in us of like our 2-card combos are broken.
Well, no,
the game.
yeah, like I need my 2-card combos to be strong. Like I can't, but I don't want to play cards that are bad cards.
Just because they fit with something.
Yeah, like it's like I'm not gonna play a bad card and a bad card just because they're good together. And like I'm not saying Maui Shark or Pirate's Life are bad cards, but like in general, like in any other scenario, if you draw just Pirate Life, like are you happy about that? Like
No,
You have to cheat the card out.
yeah,
the good thing about like something like Pirate's Life though is it's simple. So in this game when you're drawing,
is Pirate's Life a bad?
Pirate's Life is simple. Pirate's
It's
Life
also
is
synced together.
Yeah, I just don't know the card pool well. But like I know the good cards and then I fade out on the rest. But I just mean like I think that I don't think that's like a bad option. I just think that like if I was gonna play Maui Shark, I want to play Maui Shark and I want that to be like a focal point. I don't like, and again, maybe it's coming from Yu-Gi-Oh! Like I don't like the idea of like inconsistent things. Like I don't like the idea of being like, oh, I'm on 2 random Maui Sharks here, couple one-ofs that pair well with it. Which like I'm not saying the deck's bad, and I know Sailor's cracked, so like I'm not trying to be like, oh no, his deck's bad.
No.
Nothing like that. I just mean like in general when I think of Maui Shark, like even when I played Red Blue for a bit, my biggest problem with the deck was that it lost to itself. And I hate ideas that like, oh, if I just draw this X, because there's so many decks playing like 20 Uninkables or these just big high cost cards. That's why I didn't like that. I don't remember the name. The new set 6 one, the 7, the staff, I forget what the card is. No. Energy Blast. So I hated that card when I read it because I was just like, this card is uninkable and so bad in so many situations for a couple scenarios where it's good. And like, I don't like playing cards that like, I don't like losing to myself. I don't like games where I'm like, oh, can't win this one because like my deck just lost because it didn't function.
It's running like a 2,500 deck right now.
Yeah, your deck's kind of cooking though. Like I'm not writing that one off yet. I'm still not sold on it, but like I'm not writing it off. Like when you turn 4, bend to my will, my red purple deck. Like okay, like,
I'm playing a blue green combos with Mufasa, the Pride King of Pride Rock. Or Pride Rock. And they just like played bend to my will on turn 4 against purple red in the play, and they just
you just pick cards up.
scoop your cards.
Yeah. But yeah, that's where I'm at with the Maui Shark, man. I think that card's good. I don't think that card's bad. I don't think it's great. I think it's the same case as a lot of cards from set 6 where like they are all very close to being good. But they're not, there's nothing like, ooh, this is a really good card.
To loop it back to our original point though, if we compare that card to Bucky. Or not Bucky, well Bucky too, but Diablo.
What, the Maui Shark?
You just like in regards to cards that are like, people were saying, oh, Shark, it's broken, right, when it first got revealed. But Diablo, in contrast, is like miles better. It's not inkable, I guess.
People did write off Diablo first, too, actually. That card was like
really
$15 when it first came out. I regret not buying it.
I mean, I didn't play when it came out, so I don't know.
Yeah. I should have bought it.
I think like that's what I mean. That's why I like the green steel deck so much, is because there are a lot of those 2-card combos where you need other cards to like quote unquote make them good, but a lot of the cards weren't bad by themselves. It's like if I go, all my cards did something. Like you get to play your there was some cards like Morph. Obviously that card sucks if you don't have the shift. It's your 1-drop Diablo if you don't have the shift. I think that's just kind of a weird state of the game is that there's not a ton of really good cards.
Mm.
But all of the cards basically did some. Like, Diablo being able to look at their hand so you can kind of, like, play around the next couple turns, at its worst case scenario was, like, fine. Especially because if you get to pair it, it's so good.
Yeah.
Like, 2-drop Ursula, being able to just rip a card out of their hand and also, like, do the same thing Diablo was doing in its worst case scenario, but when you, like, do that late in the game to rip B-Prep when you have John, like, it's broken. If you do your Let the Storm Rage on, it's like, yeah, the card's crazy if you can sing it, but, like, in its worst applications, it's going to probably deal with something and draw you a card. So it's like, that was what I liked about that deck.
Mm-hmm.
The problem, and that's what I have, like, the Maui Shark, is, like, that card is good, but if I have to draw, like, what's going to happen when I draw my Pirate's Life and I'm trying to play with Pirate's Life? Like, it's not, that card hasn't seen any play because of that. It's like, it's good if I have Maui Shark and can cycle it for sure. But I don't know. I don't know if, I think Maui Shark's a fine card. I don't know.
The other thing is that Maui Shark in red, there's a ton of really powerful cards in red.
Yeah.
What other green cards really exist that are super powerful? The only one I can really think of is Prince John.
John's really good.
What other
Deceiver
green-
Bolt.
And then Deceiver Bolt. Ursula Deceiver
The
Bolt.
2-drop Deceiver is
But
very
that's
good.
also a build around card.
Yeah. I agree.
You have to have songs in order to make it work. Because if you're only playing, let's say, Sudden Chills
green-
and like one other card that can sing it.
The current version of Green Steel wouldn't exist without Deceiver of All and Diablo. Like, if those cards didn't exist, you wouldn't play the deck.
Yeah.
It would be a tier. It would drop from one of the top tier decks in the format to like a tier 2 deck.
No, because every
deck.
green deck would just play the aggro versions, which is what the meta is becoming right now. Like, so many decks are just playing aggro. It's actually ridiculous.
I'm not familiar with the game enough to, like, for the entirety of the game. Like, from what I understand, that's been common though. Like, it's not every set. Like, everyone said this at Set 5 when Daisy came out. They're like, that card's gonna warp the game, which is like a really good card. But everyone was so scared of Daisy Duck, and aggro was going crazy. And we saw Seal Song be really good until people got to Vegas, and then Green Steel and Red Blue was the best deck, and you couldn't beat that. So
yeah, was it Vegas or Chicago where Blue Red was like 15 of the top 32? It was like an insane number.
I don't know. Chicago was way back, so I have no idea. But basically, long story. Diablo, I don't think it's broken. I don't know if there's any card in the game right now that's super broken. I'll argue Hiram. But
I would agree with you that Hiram is a problem more so because there's just not enough removal.
It's so hard to answer that card, man. Like, that card on 3.
Even if you answer it,
That
it's
card
still making you card advantage because you're almost always sacking a popsicle.
Nah, that card draws 6.
They see 3 items.
It's so easy to, because your Hiram's drawing, you're ripping your card. Like, that deck cycles so many cards off of its visions, and it's
yeah, well, your vision.
What's the 1-drop develop? Develop your brain, your vision.
How far? It's, don't get me wrong, it's very consistent. But if you're like, most decks are cutting Fishbone. Most decks are going down to 4 items in the deck.
Sure.
It's just popsicle.
I don't know if that's fully true. I know Vitalosphere is big.
Down to 1 at most.
No, but I know they even, like.
Then at that point, I would argue Hiram's actually unplayable.
No, guys, like, okay, no, time out. Like, no one's, okay, the Dinkham families, I know, is playing 2 Vitalospheres. I know he's at least on 6.
I would also play 2 Vitalosphere and Blue Red right now.
I know when I was playing the deck, I was playing at least 7, because I was playing the Ice Blocks. I think I played 8 at a point with the Vitalosphere.
You played 1 Vitalosphere.
Yeah, like, drawing off a Hiram is so good that I didn't understand. I didn't understand when people would be like, "Oh, I play 4 popsicles." I thought that was crazy because it was. We had this conversation before Seattle because I know you didn't want to play the Ice Blocks, and you were still playing Fishbone Quills. You had more items.
Yeah.
But having a 1-drop item, you're like, again, it's the same idea as the Green Steel deck. Their deck is so much better when they go turn 2 shift Diablo than when they don't. And I think it's the same thing with, like, the Blue Red deck. Their deck is so much better when they go turn 1 item into turn 3 Hiram that, like, I just want to make sure that happens as much as possible.
Yeah.
That's why I was so big on Ice Block, was because, like, missing your 1-drop item and not hiring on 3, pick your cards up, bro. Like, your cards
But we
don't
missed your turn 2 ramp. The deck feels pretty horrendous as well. Part of the reason why Fishbone was kind of.
I think that is bad. I think it's a little overstated, but I think it's a little overstated because how popular Green Steel was. I think you could have skipped your turn 2 ramp against the Green Steel matchup a lot of the time. Just because you were like, there were so many spots you were brawling on 3 regardless that it didn't matter if I ramped on 2. Like, ramping on 2 to 4 ink just to play Brawl on 3 is like, what was the point? I didn't need to ramp on 2, whatever. And so there's so many times you play against, I'd play in the green seal deck, I'd play against the blue red decks, and they'd have Tipo, and they would just ramp themselves on 2, rip a card out of their own hand, and then Brawl on 3 anyway. And it's like, all right, sick. Now now you've given me a chance to, like, my win con becomes ripping your hand and keeping you off of your ink. And like, cool, you got your 4 ink, but like, especially when they went first and did it, or whatever. When they would go first and do it, like, they started with their 7 cards and then ramped themselves with Tipo. If they didn't see Popsicle on 1, they were like, coke.
Yeah.
But what's up, Moose?
Moose returns. What do you think, Moose? Is Diablo broken? I don't know. I think it comes down to, I think Marcus says, yeah. I say I'm somewhere in the middle. You think it's fine? Time will tell. The time will tell if that card is played more and more and more as the card quality gets stronger. If in like 5 to 10 sets down the road, people are still jamming Diablos and it's still really good, then maybe we could look back and say, yeah, you know what, that card was probably a little bit before its time and a little too strong for the time. But you were saying like card quality isn't super good right now. I actually really like that about the game because people are still figuring out. We have a friend. Shout out to Randy.
Miss that guy.
Yeah,
He's like the he's like
the piece Randy. He's dead. He just moved.
Yeah, dude, he moved, but he's like he'll definitely be on here at some point.
Oh,
like,
sure.
yeah.
For
Like,
I don't know what that is not.
like if he didn't move, he'd be right here right now.
But he's been trying. He's been pulling like a Bobby Fischer, going insane chess kind of version of himself to try to solve Lorcana.
Yeah,
he's like saying, "I am gonna solve this game. I'm gonna
he's
solve
trying
the
to do
map."
it a little too much.
And he's burning himself out. And he's like, "I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm gonna do this thing anymore." He's just burning himself out.
Yeah, he is going to Nats though. He did tell me.
Yeah, he is going to Nats, and he still doesn't know. I was actually talking to him yesterday about it. He doesn't know what he's gonna play yet. I told him he's got a 5 lands combo.
No, I think he just needs to stick on Steel Song and just like accept that he's gonna lose to the blue red players and beat everything else. And like,
I told him.
He said he was consistently going to a 1-1 against the blue red players in 1-1.
Well, yeah, and like Nats being a 2-game format, doing 1-1 into blue red will not be bad.
No, I also still think he should play greens. I don't know. I'm so torn. I haven't paid a ton of attention because like post Seattle, like I just haven't cared as much. But
there's no events for us until next year.
Yeah. So
well, we could have gone to the last chance qualifiers, but I wasn't.
I didn't want to go to the last. No, the last. My problem was the last chance qualifier is like so like you either like if you don't win your first round, you're out. So, like going all the way there.
Can you do multiple?
You get there's 2 versions. Like there's one morning one and there's one afternoon one. So if you drop out of the morning one super early, like you lose your round 1, you're out. You can go to the second.
Just don't lose round 1, bro.
But the thing is, like, if you lose in round like 3 or 4, you don't have time to make it to the afternoon one because it starts like 11.
Yeah. I mean, I just didn't want to play it because like I don't know. There's so much variance. I feel like with like the 2-game format that
the last chance qualifiers were best of 3.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
They have to be because they need a winner every round.
True.
Yeah, 9 rounds, best of 3.
9 rounds.
Huh.
Is it 9 rounds? No.
32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 5 rounds. You know, you gotta go 5-0.
5-0. Yeah, you have to win 5-0.
The equivalent of Magic for my Magic players, MTGO. It's the equivalent of winning a league.
Mm-hmm.
Going 5 rounds.
Yeah.
Gotta win a locals.
Win a locals, bro. Like
locals and a half.
Just win a regular locals. I feel like we play in small town, small locals. But no, like I don't know. The last chance qualifier is probably cool, but
there's also the Charlie's Cocktail tournament this weekend as well that we could have went to. We're talking about
next weekend, right? Next weekend.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's the 8th.
No, it's 14th, bro.
Is it the 14th?
I swear, man. I swear.
Well, 8th.
Only because I know it. I know it's not the 14th because I gotta go play a regional in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, it's the Rochester
this weekend. Yeah, I'm going to Rochester. So I knew it didn't conflict. So I knew I was going to Rochester this weekend.
But we are going to do the more local one, the ETV one.
Yep.
Yeah.
21st.
Yeah.
Did you sign up?
Yeah.
I didn't sign up.
Get your ticket. There's only 12 left, so get your ticket.
When did you last check?
This was this morning. I checked this morning.
Okay.
I'm
probably gonna win, but you don't need to get your ticket, man.
It's 5K.
Biggest one.
You're just donating to me, so
it's the biggest one that they've posted in Canada so far. It's 5K.
I gotta make my deck work.
I
am not playing anything else.
Yeah, I've been trying to test a bunch of different decks, but I need my green
Yeah, you're
cards.
testing a bunch of different things. I am just trying to refine my one specific list.
Nah.
I need some green cards to test the blue-green build I want to try.
You're like playing purple-red, but like you might play green-steel, but you might not. I have Diablo.
I might play red-blue, but
Just why though?
no, because again, like, okay, my biggest problem with that deck was that it lost to itself. It played this horrible uninkable count.
No, it doesn't anymore though.
I know it doesn't. That's what I'm saying. So I might have to go back. Like,
Still kind of.
no, I think people would just build it shitty.
Because when you just draw it into like, this has always been my issue. Is like you're either drawing like only removal, like the games where you just draw like filter cards and removal, and like you just like filter for removal when you need it, or you filter for like extra filter when you need it, and like it's great. But there's just hands where you like you hire them and you hit 2 tall, and then 2 tall hit 2 develop, and 2 develop hit 2 more develop, and you're like, what is going on here?
Time out. I was gonna say, if you do that, yeah, just be better, bro.
That's what I mean. Though, like the
But
deck still loses.
also, I feel like those
Don't
hands are
think the
still
deck
good.
Doesn't lose to itself. It still does.
No, but that's not what I mean. Like, every deck's gonna be like, oh yeah, if I draw like 2 uninkable Diablos, 2 uninkable Johns, like, yeah, I lose. But like, I'm talking about when the blue-red deck would go like, the only ink you would find in your first 7 cards were your Hiram, Popsicle, and like Tipo, and you're like, what am I doing? Like, because you're going like turn 1, you're like inking. You look at your hand, you're like, okay, I have 3 inkable cards, because it's like it's weird. Like that deck almost wanted to mulligan heavy because like seeing the inside, like seeing one
you want to
drop,
see
item into Hiram.
You want to see item, tier 2 ramp, Hiram, and then like brawls, your removal, and then 3 inkable cards. That was it.
Yeah, but whenever it did that, it would end up being in spots. Like if you ended in a spot where you had to go ink a Hiram on turn 1 or something and play Popsicle, like your deck was so bad.
Well, then you mulligan poorly, or you just got unlucky.
No, that's what I mean, right? Like, and every deck's gonna lose like the unlucky.
But now that you're playing Sail, you have more inkables.
Exactly.
If you cut 1 jump, which I actually don't know if it's correct, because 1 jump you can sing it with Tipo.
Never
because
miss. I've never missed one of them.
Well, I mean, in the deck that I'm running with like
I
an
don't
absurd
know.
amount of uninkables, I've been floating between 23 and 26 uninkables in my crazy deck. I don't run Sail because I don't have enough inkables to consistently ink after drawing. But in the current blue-red deck, how many uninkables are they playing?
Milos is
Like
only
15,
playing.
15?
Milos is playing. Okay, because I went back to more like a standard with like the ice blocks and the Sisus, because I think it's the only way that. Like if I were to play a tournament tomorrow, I would put ice block Sisu in my deck because I think there's gonna be still people playing like.
How many B prep? 3? 2?
3. Yeah, 3
Like a 3
Sisu,
split?
3 B prep,
I think
3
that's
ice block.
correct.
I'm on like 15 uninkables right now.
Yeah. So like that's like running Sail on that type of deck is fine because it's uninkable. Or sorry, it's inkable. You can ink another inkable, but you have enough double inkables to potentially double ink.
Mhm.
In the late game, it's a redraw.
Yeah.
So
Sail's
it
yeah.
ramps you, it's inkable, and it's a redraw.
Yeah, Sail's
sign me
Sail's
up.
That's
fantastic.
great.
Sail's
I think it's better in blue steel.
Sail.
I also think it's better in blue steel. After playing like blue steel the last few weeks, it's definitely better in blue steel.
Yeah.
The amount of times I've just gone like
Ramping into fire
sail
the
on
cannons.
2, fire the cannon, sail on 2, play another 1-drop item. Like so much better.
Yeah. This card's really good, but I don't know. I feel like for the ETB tournament, might be. My biggest problem is right now is that every deck, there's so many players playing aggro. There's so many guys. Like it's like there's so much.
Locally maybe, but not at the higher level.
I don't know.
You'd be surprised.
There's a lot of.
Everybody. The last week I went to we
Define
went to-
aggro. Are you talking about like the green purple aggro list? That's more of like a.
It's a tempo list.
Tempo.
It's still on the aggro side of
Yeah.
the scale, right? Like
Well, a lot of them still just end up playing like not everybody, but a lot of them still end up playing their merfolks. They still end up playing like bonsais. They
a lot
still.
on Fred.
Yeah. I
There's
haven't
a
seen
yellow
that, but-
steel aggro deck running around right now with like the Prince Arrow,
Simba
the
and-
Kowloons, Simbas, and stuff like that. So like, and like they're just playing a bunch of characters that are like the yellow cards are all 1/4s,
Mhm.
and all the steel cards have resist. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, now I'm like in this position of like the blue. I was playing because like, I was playing this in the blue steel. I was like, well, all my steel cards suck because all these cards have
Yeah.
resist and they're not doing anything. I don't have enough big removal to like actually like beat out these aggro like to remove the aggro cards.
I still think blue red's probably the best deck,
Oh, for sure.
and I'm probably gonna play blue red, but
We need to find new Maleficents.
you have them.
Almost, I'm playing blue.
Nah, you're green blue, bro. You
Well, I
guys
mean,
are
I have Maleficents that I'm not using.
Not perfect.
beautiful.
Blue, I
love
can
it
see
when I
myself
play
going back to
together.
blue red eventually, but I grinded that deck for a while and then got punished against purple red and Seattle. I got skill lift for sure. I need a bit of a break from that deck. So that deck felt to me. I crushed the side events
Yeah.
multiple times to blue red, and then went to the main event and just couldn't do anything. So I need to do some soul searching, figure out what's.
I got clapped in the side events, and then meh in the main event.
I don't think you meh in the main event. You almost made top 64. You got
Yeah,
lucky
but-
in
You
round
were
8, right?
1.5 wins away.
Yeah, but I didn't. So
Yeah, I mean, I guess you want to
Um,
look at it like you did or you didn't, but I try to look at it as
I mean,
how
at the-
far in
That
the
was your
tournament did you
first-
go until
okay.
you're dead?
Okay, relax here. That was your first event, and you did
Yeah.
that well for your first event.
yeah,
That's crazy.
but
You did better than myself and Marcus have ever done.
yeah, but at the end of the day, we got Rapunzel. So that's what I mean. It's like, I don't look at it as like, oh, I did crazy.
Well,
It's
I
like,
mean, I got Rapunzel's not the nice one.
no, that's what I mean. At the end of the day, I got same prize tickets 333 did. Like, so it's like.
Now, as I said, I think that I like to look at it as how long did I go in the tournament before I was officially out of contention to make top 64. Because the farthest I've gone is I made round 8.
Yeah.
Where we're now in the weird, if I lose game 1, I concede level, which is part of the problem with the best of 2 format. And I lost the best of 1.
Yeah.
But I look at it as, I made it to round 8 and I was still alive. That's a pretty decent finish. In Texas, I think it was like round 6 and I was dead. I was like, oh, that sucks. And Seattle, I made it to round 7 technically.
I think I was out in round.
I think it was 8 that he won.
Yeah, I don't remember. I know I lost my first round in round 6. It was 302 or something. That went 312. Yeah. I lost round 6. I was undefeated round 6. Undefeated, like a draw. Whatever, but.
Yeah, I didn't have my Seattle one was fucking terrible. I just lost the mirror. I lost the mirror 3 times. I was out.
Yeah, that's tough.
Carpet was crazy.
It was,
we can't really speak to like how the sets have progressed because he started in set 5 and I started in set 4. So like, if you want to talk about it, you can. But like,
I mean, I can give you a basic rundown. Keep in mind that I played aggro for like the first 2 sets because I didn't have access to cards. The biggest problem in set 1, at least at the local level, was that people just did not have access to stuff unless you were insane and you bought like. Well, not only that, you also have like. To be fair, if I had the money, I would have done it too. But some people bought like 6 cases of set 1 when it first came out, and these are the people that are really committing to the game. Some people are collectors and didn't open them or whatever, but some people literally bought 6 cases and opened the cards. As I was saying, the main decks. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments or whatever. Purple, Red, and Steel Song were the best decks because Purple, Red had B prep.
Yeah.
And Steel Song had uninteractable turn 4 Tinkerbell Sing Wheel plus Aerial on turn 3. There was no removal. There was Smash for Aerial if you were on the play.
Yeah.
But the Tinkerbell was literally uninteractable.
Maui said one, right?
Yeah.
But like, no, I got what you're talking about.
So the problem was he played 3-drop Tink, the one that loots,
Yeah.
looting, and I don't know if you guys know that term, but looting is draw discard.
it's cycled. Yeah, it's cycled.
Yeah, you draw a card in the discard. So you play the 3 Inkable Tinkerbell. That's a 2/4. Nothing in the game answered a 2/4. There was no brawl. The most damage you could do was a smash. So on curve, you could always go Tinkerbell into shift Big Tink.
Yeah.
And there was uninteractable. And that was the why, like in set 1, it was broken. Because you just play that card, now you have a 4 or 5, it destroys all their stuff. They're playing Hyper Aggro, they have just lost. Randy, again, shout out to him, kept making me scoop up my cards because I would play all the 1 mana 1/1 quest for 2, and he plays Tink on turn 4, and I just can't win. But then not only that, now they wheel. And it's like, okay, how do I ever do anything ever?
Yeah.
Because now they just have all the cards ever, and they can win the game very quick.
Hyper Aggro existed in set 1?
No, it wasn't good.
Oh, okay.
Hyper Aggro's always existed. But the Lilo and the Maleficent did exist in set 1.
A bunch of dudes at Quest for 1 will always exist, or Quest for 2
Sure.
will always exist.
So you just went turn 1 play Lilo or Maleficent, turn 2 play Lilo. My first set champs, my first round, I won on my turn 4 because I had the absolute nut draw.
Yeah.
Because I went in set 1, turn 1 Maleficent, turn 2 Maleficent, turn 3 1 drops. And if you're on the play, you can't lose to that. If you're on the draw, you could actually lose because they can do the Tinkerbell play. But if you're on the play, that's uninteractable. You win on turn 4, basically. You quest a 2, you quest a 6, you quest to like 12, and then you have win. Yeah, that was about it. Set 2 came out. Purple Red was the dominant deck because of Rabbit and Bounce.
Yeah, because you would B prep and then play. You did Tremaine, right? So you just B prep, Tremaine them. Next turn, Snake, Tremaine.
Yeah.
Like
I think Popsicle came out in set 2.
Popsicle Hammer came out in set 2.
Yeah.
That was the first like red blue
Was
deck.
Hiram set 2 or set 3?
Hammer set 2. Hiram and Popsicle both.
Because I know that when Hiram and Popsicle existed, that immediately became a deck. Yeah. And then the Timatoa deck started coming. So in set one,
Don came out in set
there was a really janky deck in set one, the Blue Steel, where they had Fishbone, and they had Tamatoa, and they had Wheel, but they were just playing a bunch of unplayable, inkable items to slam on the board in order for Tamatoa to quest, and there was no dom.
Beastmere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could play a card like that. I don't know if they did or not. I remember some decks were playing like Scepter of Agadine to give.
What did Beastmere do?
When you have no cards in your hand, I think it's pay 2.
The one that I have 5 of them, I see.
Yeah, but what is it? Is what I don't know the cost of it.
I'm
2 ink for it's no cost to top, but you have to have no cards in hand to drop. It's fine. It was fine in set 1, I'm sure. It probably playable. Yeah, set 2 bounce came out really, really good. Set 3 was Bucky started becoming slightly an issue. It was set 3, right? Diablo came out set 4.
I played one tournament at set 3. It was blue. I played blue steel, and I just got crushed by purple red in 3 rounds.
Purple red was still very powerful because nothing could really interact with the card advantage that rabbit mounts gave.
Mm-hmm.
They just had good removal. I think Brawl came out in set. I want to say I keep wanting to say
Brawl came out in
3,
set 4. Brawl came out in set 4 because when I started playing the game.
I think Diablo came out set 4.
I built blue red because I like the blue
That
cards,
makes
and
sense.
I opened 2 boxes of set 4, whatever it was. Driven Skies, set 4. That's 5.
No, that's fine.
Yeah,
That's 4.
Ursula chain.
Here's what try that one. I pulled Sisus and Brawls. Now I guess I played blue red.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Prince John came out set 2 or 3?
Yeah, one of them.
2. I
Yeah.
played that card so many times. I know
So
it
that
says 2 on
card,
it.
people tried to build around that card. There just wasn't like they were trying to build it with like You Have Forgotten Me's and stuff, and it was fine. It wasn't until Bucky and Diablo really started getting to see play that deck took over. That was around set 4. Set 5 was about the same, but with the Bucky errata. Purple red has always intermittently there like been able to finish high in tournaments, but ever since set 4, I would argue the best decks have basically just been blue red, green steel, purple red, and one random aggro deck of some kind of colors.
Usually
I don't
it's
know
Steel
if
Song.
Aggro's ever been like a tier 1 deck.
Again, what do you do? Well,
I think
again,
the Steel Song deck's
I think
aggro
purple
deck.
green. If you
I don't think Steel Song's aggro though. I wouldn't describe that as an aggro deck.
it's like a combo aggro deck.
I think it's like very close to like a mid-range deck.
But
At
I'm talking
most,
more-
at most, it's like a tempo.
I'm
list,
talking
like
about a
green,
random
purple.
like green, purple,
Yeah.
like that, like with your Curse Mark folks you're talking about. That's
Yeah.
kind of your aggro deck, but there's always been one set of 2 colors that there's been like a pretty decent aggro deck that decks have to be aware of,
Yeah.
and if not aware of, they just lose to it. That's basically been the meta in a nutshell. I couldn't remember when certain cards were printed, but Diablo has taken over as one of the top competing decks. It's also allowed like Lemon Lime to exist. We know a few people that play Lemon Lime and have success with it, and Diablo is quite good in those
Joe
decks.
Cala.
Yeah.
That is Joe Joseph who created that
Yeah,
deck.
Joseph. Yeah.
Joseph
Yeah,
Brinkley
yeah.
created that deck. Top Chicago with it, and then that was Bivens' list.
Nice.
Yeah, but
I
yeah.
wasn't playing, so I have no idea.
Like remember, like because like I remember all the ETB guys came back from Chicago after Joseph topped.
Yeah.
It was like, oh man, that's so sick. But then Zach Bivens topped like the next one with it. It was like everyone was like Bivens deck,
Yeah.
and then we all went for him for it.
That's funny. No, I don't know. That deck
Fine,
seems
I'm
cool.
gonna top with Mufasa next year. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna start
The
calling
5K,
people-
top the 5K with it.
people that, but then the surprise is out though if I do that.
Yeah, but no one's gonna be able to play with it.
It's true.
Play an unoptimal list. Figure out what the best list is, and then play.
and then
an
play slightly.
cut the best card, like the second best card from it, and play like a.
You know what I have to do? You gotta play carpet
Right.
That'd be perfect, because then that would not be the optimal list. I got you. Yeah, that makes sense.
back. I
Yeah.
couldn't resist. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Unironically, carpet bag would actually not be the worst thing ever.
Do it. Do it. Play card back.
Tomorrow. Do you have an extra copy?
I've 1,000.
What's tomorrow?
We're locals.
Bro, okay, yeah. Win a crit hit logos.
Dude, the crit hit local. Dude, last week we went to crit hit locals, and dude, I played 3 purple yellow hyper aggro decks. I was like, this is unwinnable. Because it was either ward or just 1/4. So I was like, I'm looking at smash. And
Unironically, hold on. Carpet bag's actually crazy because it gets back metal courage, so I can make my Mufasa have even more. What if it's actually cracked and I get to untap all my ink? Oh my god, that's cracked.
Let's just play 46 on it.
And once I use it and I get back the metal, now I sack it to hero because it's useless on my combo turn. Oh my god, get clapped. This deck is sick.
It could do that, or we could play a good card, but
I'm already playing 4 Hiram. And I can't play 12 Hiram, so I'm stuck with 4.
play Diablo.
So Carbon
bro.
Bag.
Play Diablo,
You know what Hiram
shift
can
that
do?
boy.
Get back Metal Courage.
Yo, why are you not playing Diablo?
Well,
You play so many
I'm-
actions, honestly, bro. Shift that shit.
Then you gotta play Diablo in order to shift it, and then you probably need Morph as well. And then like now,
No, you don't need more. Just put it like
but yeah, but then at that point, then you just start like putting in seal cards instead, and then you.
Oh, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking.
Yeah, then you play some coasts and some beasts.
You could do that.
Yeah, you could do that, but I don't know. I don't think Diablo would be good in a combo deck.
I guess.
I think it's gonna force enough players to play around it, where it's like, now you're gonna play for
You just don't even play the shift. Just play the one drop.
Actually,
Yeah. They're like, oh, dude, fire the cannons. You're like,
sick.
oh.
Tipo ramp.
Yeah. Imagine not playing
Yeah, like if
Buffalo
I
one, though.
play Diablo and I shift and I do all this work for it, and then they just kill it.
Hear me out, though.
Running cards.
Hear me out, though. Popsicle 1, Hiram on 3. When you don't see Hiram Popsicle, gross. Diablo 1. Shift Diablo 2. Second Hiram
It
entry.
could be right. I might have to test it. I need one more Diablo. Though.
We have the other one. We have the two ones.
Imagine.
It's possible that that's just like the line, and I just play it.
Yeah, but then you're going
But
to
it's
draw.
even more.
Draw one
uninkables.
drop Diablo. Draw
What am I
one.
gonna play 30 uninkables? Like
Yes.
what is this like?
Brother, what's 26? Like, what are we doing? Play
Next
100.
topic.
Play 60.
We have the European Continentals coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
How are we feeling? So it's 96 players got the invite.
Yeah.
From tournaments. They're giving them another 32 invites to make it a 128 tournament.
Yeah.
How do we feel about the meta going into this weekend?
Zan wins.
You think Zan wins?
No, I don't know.
I mean, he's playing the last year's qualifier.
Yeah, I
right?
know.
So
No.
we'll know if he's in the tournament. He has to win one of 2 5-round tournaments. Like he's finally getting
Yeah. What are we asking? Like, what's going to happen? What's the winner? What's the
Yeah,
shift?
what do we think is like what? Okay, what is the number one represented deck? What is a deck that we think is going to be like the underdog that like does really well? Which top players do we think are going to do well?
I can tell you what top player is gonna do well. Ding Fam. What's
Yeah.
his full name?
Jin
Yeah,
Camp fam.
He's gonna do very well.
Frank-
He's top like 5 events.
Yeah, Frank Karsten.
Yeah.
Who's the other? Moyen.
Yeah.
They'll probably all like all 3 of those like the big names. They'll probably all do well. If Zan gets in, I can see Zan doing very well.
If he says.
Really
If
Wilson?
he says.
Yeah, no, he's not playing Europe. He's playing NA.
Oh, we're talking about yeah.
Yeah.
we're talking
But
about, right.
no, I was gonna say I think it's probably like I think a big thing for this tournament is I think a lot of players are probably gonna play what they're comfortable with, and so it doesn't. I don't know if it like obviously set 6 is gonna impact it, but I think that like a lot of players will play a lot of red blue and got their invite on red blue are gonna play red
Well,
blue.
what decks?
A lot of players are gonna
Wilson
play.
Set 6. I would argue that blue red just got the most consistent upgrade.
Well, I was gonna say I think green purple is like actually really good. I feel like in Europe they like that deck a lot.
They do.
What did they gain?
They play the genies. They play
Blue's really good. Red Rose is really good. Or the White Rose.
if they're playing like a higher aggro build. Like it's I don't know. There's so many different
Most of them are
variations.
playing
Of
like
that.
1 or 2. Like,
There's so many different
You know what?
variations
Let's
of that
play
deck.
the shift Ursula.
Yeah, they can do that. That's what I'm saying. That deck has a ton.
A lot of them aren't playing anything. Like
That deck has a
super
ton
high
of.
cost
That deck
today.
has a ton
I
of
guess they have to
options.
cut it. for
The
those.
artifacts list that's playing in the cross continental one rail, he's cut friends altogether,
Mhm.
and he's just playing a bunch of the cards and just draw a card when you play it. Like so, like playing 4 genie, 4 rabbit,
So it's a
2
body.
Clarabelle.
The way that he's seeing it is that instead of drawing 2 cards, you draw 1 card, but you gain a body.
Yeah, you gain the
as
body
second
use card on the field.
This is arguably better. The thing with Friends though is that it's free.
It's
But
kind
you
of free.
can't. But you can't quest.
So
if you're
that's
trying to play aggro,
exactly because of the aggro reason. He's like,
I don't hate that.
I'm just gonna play all the aggro cards and like I'm just gonna play a dude, draw a card.
Genie
plus
is
that
very
play.
good in the aggro version. I was telling you that from purple red.
Yeah.
I think purple red will be a very high represented deck, but I don't think it's going to be the deck that we've seen past.
It's
Yeah.
not.
I think they're
been
going to play the
super-
aggro version.
They
with
could,
the
yeah.
Genies.
It's
They're gonna,
not.
They might cut goat. They might cut not goats. Rabbits.
It's not been super. Purple red hasn't been historically hasn't been super popular in European events.
But ironically enough, you know what card's going to be
I don't know.
hot? Is Thievery. That's what it's called.
Oh, the one
The
one,
one drop?
the one drop. Yeah.
You gain a lore and they lose a lore.
Mhm.
If the meta is going to be as aggressive as we're stating, it
They're
might
playing
be,
it in
and
the-
thinkable, right?
Yeah, they play it in the burn deck.
Yeah, but that card is super hot, and even Pirate's Life. I don't know if they play that in the aggro deck or not. Maybe like a couple. I don't know.
I don't know.
I haven't
The
looked
one
at it.
the burn list that I saw was playing with the Maui Shark. But they're playing like 1 Thiever, 1 Pirate's Life, 2 Maui Shark. Like Maui Shark's at the top of their curve.
Yeah. I would say that Thievery is a very good card in a meta where you know it's going to be aggressive because you stop them from winning and you progress your own
I
game
think
plan.
Break Free. It's another random action that like nobody plays, but like, yo, watch out. Pardon?
Which
I
one's
was going
gonna
to say
say?
the same thing.
It's a 1-cost inkable. I think it gives them rush, draw a card, something.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody plays that card, but like sleeping, they're all sleeping. That card's so much better than Carpet Bag. But it's like, no, I just mean,
Different color.
yeah. No, I'm just talking like, I think that card's a little slept on. The card's really interesting, especially Maui Shark. I don't know if it's good, but it's neat. Purple Red's probably still just like that's what I mean. Is there's so many people just gonna go with their comfort pick and just play what they want, but there'll probably be some interesting stuff. I don't
You
know.
don't think there will be much brewing?
What do you mean?
People brewing decks?
I think an
Oh.
underrated deck will be the blue-yellow, like hyper aggro ward deck.
That deck's
I
interesting.
think the deck will be very well played.
I haven't seen a lot of the blue steel one with Alice
I don't think
instead.
I've seen many lists.
The only list I've seen right now is the one in the Cross-Continental Challenge, and it is crushing.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the blue steel kind of similar idea to that,
Mhm.
but
Reminds me of a deck called Boggles in Modern Magic. They just play a bunch of hexproof guys,
yeah,
and their target removal is piss.
Yeah.
Terrible.
that's why it's. But that's what I mean. I feel like a lot of people play the comfort stuff. I think green purple probably do well. I feel like that deck just people in Europe love it.
Green purple.
The Europeans are a very different metagame, right? Like no
Yeah.
green steel, like very little green steel in their metagame all over. Even in like the Bucky format, like it
Really?
was still very well. It was represented, but it was like not like it is over here.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think green purple will do well. Red blue will just do well again, as it does.
Mhm. So I think Steel Song will be.
I think Steel Song will be
I think
good.
at that level, Steel Song is a lot better.
Yeah.
Just like the good players just know how to play it.
That's what I mean. People play their comfort stuff. Red purple will still be around. I don't think we're gonna see too much differences from what we've seen already. Maybe a bit more uptick in green purple, but probably pretty similar stuff that's been top already. I don't think there'll be anything too crazy, but I mean, some good players will teach us. Like it's like probably right, but yeah, it's probably what I'm expecting. I don't know what wins. It's probably
That's
mostly
way too hard to say.
irrelevant. Like, what's the difference between first
I think a
and
red deck will
top
win.
4? Yeah,
There's a lot of red decks, like blue, red, or purple.
I'm gonna go some green decks win because I was sleeping on green cards and those cards are
Red
nice.
deck will get there. I think there's a lot of really good red players that have
Yeah.
topped many of them.
Yeah, sneaky Steel Song win maybe.
I can see Steel Song doing well. Frank Carson's like so
That's how- yeah.
insane.
That was the guy who I had in mind
that
when I
guy's
said
like,
it.
that guy's a Magic Hall of Famer. That guy's so good at this game.
Yeah.
He won the first ever DLC.
Yeah, Steel Song, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, that's probably what I expect to do well. I don't think-
Standard.
yeah.
You think no big meta shift?
Some random guy on red steel top. Some pirates come cooking.
Yeah,
but
75 card deck.
Wouldn't be
No, that's
surprised to see a random Mufasa deck. Red yellow.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I can see that.
that'd be interesting. But I swear there was something that got that was probably good that I don't remember. Oh, I thought the Moana was cool. If you do something with the Moana,
The one drop?
yeah. If you're gonna play it in like a Mufasa deck,
We talked about this card at length, and I don't think that card is super good.
I don't either. But
Um,
I think it's
but I think in the Mufasa deck, it's
that's what I thought. Yeah. I don't think it's good in like other decks, but I think it's specifically Mufasa. Red had bad 1-drops. They had the Mulan that you could heal. But I don't know. I don't know if there's a good enough captain, but
I don't think you play it with the captain. You just quest with it in the Mufasa deck.
yeah, you could for sure.
Because Mufasa, in the end, is basically an aggro deck with the added bonus that if you wipe the board, you get a big fat guy. Or
Yeah,
like,
no, but
Mufasa
that's-
quest for 2. Oh, you don't.
That's
kill
what I
it?
mean.
Quest for
Is
2.
like
Oh,
that's
you
what
kill it?
their
Quest for
that's
2.
what their bad spots were. It was like what happens when that Mufasa hits a 1-drop? It's like terrible. But the
Spin the
Moana,
wheel, baby.
that's what I mean. Is like the Moana kind of mitigates that, where you can actually hit that. I don't know if that deck's good, but
I don't
could be
know if they'll
interesting.
have high representation, but I could see it.
Yeah.
being a thing that people try to-
although who's showing up to who's playing their Nats tournament on Mufasa though?
Someone might, if they deem it for some reason to be good enough. What is that deck?
That deck has a 51% win rate.
I mean,
Into everything, like it's like good enough.
Does
yeah.
it do well against red blue? I'd say yes, because if they be prepped, then you get if you high roll to be prepped.
Not if they're gonna copy the Sailor list though and play Let It Go. Then it's like
Oh yeah.
Let It Go, you're Mufasa, and you. Oh,
Let it go, Dragonfire. They're still playing like Maleficent and shit. Like,
Yeah. Well, no, but Maleficent and Dragonfire like trigger it. That's when it gets banished.
oh, we're playing. They're talking about that Mufasa. They're talking about blue Mufasa.
No, I'm talking
No.
about we're talking about the yellow Mufasa.
Oh, yellow Mufasa.
Yeah, red, yellow.
Yeah, the
But it
blue
was
Mufasa
cool.
is one that I'm playing. And
I thought you were talking about that Mufasa.
When I play that card, it basically the only reason I lose when I play that Mufasa is one of two reasons. They either like Bruno it in the green steel, or they play like Heffalumps and Woozles. That card has impressed me. Card's been very good. Like it gets Heffalump and then it can't quest. Or they're killing me that turn. But if they're killing me that turn, I'm probably not playing Mufasa unless I'm desperate.
Yeah.
Every other time I untap with it, it's like
50%
of the time or more, I am winning from 0 to 1.
Yeah.
The combo, just untapping it with.
Leaking the goo. You're leaking the goo.
Yeah, buddy, don't leave the goo in the pot. Don't leave the goo in the pot, buddy.
No, that deck's neat.
Won't be.
You don't think green blue takes this one? You don't think green blue?
No, because I haven't made it popular yet.
Sure.
I think Quigsley's like green blue control deck might make an appearance.
I've seen that deck too.
That deck
pretty
is
strong.
disgusting.
Bend to my will, I'm playing it too. That's really strong.
Yeah.
He's doing it on turn 4.
Yeah, that's. Is he
did
playing Iago and stuff?
He's playing the Starlight Valkyrie Slam.
Yeah.
Interesting. He's playing that.
Yeah.
Makes items actions cost 2 less or 1 less.
2 less. 2 less.
What is the cost of that card?
4.
It's 4, but it's 1 to activate.
And there's another activation on it. You get an action back or something.
Yeah. Something like that.
You discard it. That's actually pretty hot.
Yeah. So on turn 4, he's just discarding them.
Yeah.
Kind of broken.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Cooks purple red.
Cooks purple red, cooks blue red. Cooks the green steel mirror because like they don't have enough cards up by then.
Yeah, but like, what do you do? Rip my 3 cards in my hand?
If you're on the draw, it's 4.
Yeah, no, that's still good. I mean, discard your hand, discard your
Yeah,
hand.
discard your hand. Discard 4 cards in your hand.
Yeah.
Nice job, you idiot.
If that card's ever good though. You know how crazy Doc gets. Like, my Doc deck goes crazy. My purple steel deck into your my purple steel
I do
aggro
think
deck.
purple steel might make an appearance actually. That deck's been running really hot.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's cool. It's Doc's a crazy card, man.
I'm gonna try it
For my doc, I want to play my no wheel.
Steel
that
Song,
dog?
yeah.
2 drop.
Yeah, love that
I think the
card.
card's excellent.
Card's really good. The problem is, my biggest problem with that card is that like, it feels only good in like some aggro variants and like.
It's not great in like mid range.
No, exactly. I just don't enjoy playing those decks, so I haven't played those.
Imagine you play doc and you discard like 2 Lilos and you go, oh, so
Yeah.
good.
That card I think is honestly a little overrated.
Lilo?
Yeah.
Hasn't felt good. There's no deck I've faced that has Lilo in it, except for like when I would.
No,
jump on
I'm
blue
ready to
steel.
be wrong. I think that card's good. Like, it's not like it's bad. I think people talked about it like, whoa, and it's like,
I think people are playing that card wrong. I actually think it's a control card.
it's interesting. It's a good card. I think it's
I
like,
think you play it as your only win condition in like some kind of amber blank deck.
I don't think we're there yet though. I don't win.
Maybe not.
Pool, yeah.
But imagine a deck where you play 4 Lilos, B prep, and all the removal ever, and Lilo is your only win card. And you
Yeah.
just keep bringing it back every
For,
single turn.
or even if you get to a spot where you like, you dump 4 Lilo, you B prep on 7 or the 7 ink, and then 4 Lilo and be like, B prep me back.
Lilo, you kill my guy.
B prep me back, and then even when they do, you're like Lilo. Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Imagine B
I actually
prep.
think the card is a
Imagine
control
B
card.
prepping with 7 ink, and then 8 you just like bring it the next turn, bring out 4 or
It's
whatever.
it's not an aggro card because it's too expensive and the stats are too weak. It doesn't trade.
No, I think the biggest problem with it, it's not good when you're behind. I don't like cards that are.
Well, aggro doesn't like you behind at all.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, it's like,
Calling it now, it might take like 5 years. I think that card is a control card. It's your control win condition.
potentially.
And if they create cards that like exile cards to the graveyard, which they have not done yet. But if they eventually add like remove this card from the game effects, then they become much worse.
I don't know if
So
Lorcana will
then-
do that. I feel like Lorcana would just go with like shuffle into the deck type deal.
Like
I don't know if they're gonna go for like the exile banish.
I think just keeping it to shuffle on the deck would probably be better.
I think it could be Steel Songs Win Condition. Like they kind of evolved.
You
Like
can
they
take,
evolved from like
control.
they evolved to like harp, and they were playing or like to flute, and then to harp, and then back to flute, and then they were like now we're playing blue again. But it's like you just play the Lilo.
The
Most of
biggest
time-
problem with Lilo is you have to Lilo before you draw.
Yes.
And
Sometimes you want to draw, and it's like, oh man, I was at 5 ink, and I played a 5 drop.
yeah, exactly. I don't want to ink. I don't want to use my ink before I
Yeah,
know
but you
my
keep your
options. But-
curve low enough. Like
No,
Steel Songs curve is 5.
No, I don't think the card's bad. I
Or
just
you
think
only
it's a
play it when
little.
they have no stuff on
it's a
board. You
little
play
overrated.
a control decks. You don't care if you.
It's not bad, I
Because
think it's a little
they have no
overrated.
cards to remove anyway. That's why, like, I don't know.
It's a little
The more I think about
overhyped. One day it'll be good.
I might have to try to build this Lilo control deck where the challenge would be Lilo is the only character in the deck. That's what challenge I'd love to give myself. Only Lilos and everything else just removed.
Do it with like a Maui Shark and a bunch of actions.
Nah, man, just Lilo.
No, because think how good that is. Like, bro, they have to challenge your Lilos eventually, and then once they do, your Maui Shark goes crazy.
Well, I guess at that point you also play Robin Hood.
Yeah. There's no idea.
It's actually true though. They have to challenge your Lilo, so then Maui Shark just gets them.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Vitalis, you're a Lilo. It's not the worst. What character in Disney has not been made a card that you would like to see? A franchise or like a character?
You're getting.
Another good one.
I have no idea. I don't know the stuff.
I'm telling you right now, I know what I
Pixar,
want.
like, I guess.
Think I will ever get it. Disney's Recess.
Yo,
Recess
imagine,
would be
dude.
sick.
I want to see TJ Detweiler as a red card.
Bro,
or an amber card. I'd be so.
My
hyped.
Vince deck would go
Vince
crazy,
would go
bro.
crazy, man. Vince LaSalle.
Dude,
That's a-
I'll be playing
Style.
Enchanted Lawsons
Yo,
like
and then,
no
like,
one,
yo, and then
bro.
the floodboards, we them all grown up, like working the jobs they wanted to work when they were kids.
That'd be so great, man.
Like
Eventually
Mikey Blumberg, opera,
Yeah.
opera powerhouse.
Yeah,
He'd
dude.
be a singer.
That'd be sick.
Easy.
I'm into that.
Easy.
I'm down. I want to see Pixar for sure.
They did not Pixar.
I know. I remember you telling me that,
Yeah.
but
Like Buzz Lightyear decks can go crazy.
Dude,
Nah, dude, I need to
and
play-
Your face.
I need to play the Wally deck. This recycles and loop stuff, bro. I
Sure.
can't wait.
Maybe some kind
I
of
can't
idea.
wait for him to be the best blue card ever.
Yeah.
Him and Eve are gonna go crazy.
No, he's so gonna be yellow though, because
So-
like they've already given the yellow the discard stuff. Like they're gonna make him like
Woody
He's
with
a
the
collector, he's a
effect.
junk collector.
yeah,
Can we for him to power creep cover back?
buddy. He didn't have to. It's like he's not even out yet. He's not even out yet. He power crept it, bro. Like,
I can't wait to see Woody with "There's the snake in my boot" text.
yeah, man. Yeah, man. That'd be cool.
You got a friend in
my
my
boot.
It's gonna be an interesting song.
Yeah,
Which one? You got a friend in you.
yeah.
Mhm.
That'd be
What
cool.
would it do? Similar to Friends on the other side, maybe.
Oh, dude, be sick if you didn't have to pay like the shift cost for a character.
Be interesting.
Like a song.
It just turns every card into Diablo Shift.
You can play a shift character from your hand without paying its cost.
Yeah,
As long as you have the shift. Right?
yeah. It turns every card into Diablo
Like a
Shift.
4 cost song or a 5 cost song.
That might be too much, but yeah. Well, if you have to spend 4, then why?
That was like a
I don't know. What else have they not made? I don't know what the.
There's tons, I'm sure, but
Sure,
I
yeah.
don't know.
Um.
I mean, if you want to really go deep, the Star Wars characters are technically in Disney.
Oh,
No, they'll
true.
never make them though. They made their own Star Wars game.
Oh, Unlimited.
Yeah, the Star Wars Unlimited. Apparently, it's really good.
I saw a gameplay of it. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm. The Marvel characters will never come into it. They've way too many other Marvel IPs. They'll never make Marvel stuff into this. Pirates of the Caribbean would be cool.
Yeah, but it would just feel so silly. Imagine my
Interesting, though, but
imagine my Captain Jack Sparrow would be like, my Captain Jack Sparrow challenges your Mickey
with
Mouse.
all
Like,
the other controversial stuff that happened with it and all that.
yeah, Pixar would be cool. I don't know.
Yeah, but no, Disney's Recess is my vote for sure.
Yeah, now you got me on that. I'm into that
Yeah.
too. Yeah, I think that'd be sick. Um,
More tribal cards would be nice. Like they push pirates so hard in Nazareth Sea.
yeah,
And they're still like unplayable. Like as a tribe,
yeah.
they're individually good cards. If they're gonna.
The
push
problem
a
is they're
tribe-
also trying to print. Like I feel like the game design for this game hasn't come together quite yet because like pirates, like there's pirates in every single color, and they all like want to interact with each other, but there's too many colors. Like
We'll get there.
they spread it way too wide.
I think we'll get there. I
Of
just
course, the
don't
problem
know.
with the 6-color system, you can only play 2. In Magic, you can play 5 if you want.
Mm-hmm.
In this game, you can only play 2.
And Yu-Gi-Oh can play all of them.
Yu-Gi-Oh, there's no resources. You just
Oh,
play.
it's beautiful,
Oh,
dude.
Oh,
That game's so bad but good.
I love it.
It's so good.
Such a drug, man.
It's so
Yu-Gi-Oh
dumb.
is such a drug. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah,
You can only quit it for so long, and then you just
Next week on the
Scroll back.
podcast, just play Yu-Gi-Oh.
yeah. Honestly,
cheers.
yeah, man. I can play.
It's an
some
hour-long podcast. We get through a half a game.
I love it.
Dude, we had Randy on the call like a couple weeks ago, and Nick was like, "Yo, let's play me a quick tier beer." It took an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah. When you're playing with no time, man, those memes are crazy.
It's like the purple red mirrors in set 1 that literally didn't get through game 1 by time.
That's crazy.
That happened at such championships that I was at. It was literally draw, game 1, 0-0. No one wins. They were because they can't build themselves up because they played the stupid broom that shuffled the card 2 cards back from your discard. So they just never milled up.
Wow.
Yeah, it was ludicrous.
All right, what are we doing? Wrapping this?
Yeah, man. Let's wrap it up. Episode 1 now. And the next, boys.
What are we gonna we'll end with some like
Episode 1 of many, hopefully.
What's our what do you guys want from this game? You guys wanna what do you think comes next? Anything cool? Any hopes for Lorcana in the future?
I want more events. That's really what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping next year they announce that like they're gonna run a bunch of smaller events. I want like
Yeah, I need a regional circuit.
a regional
Yeah.
circuit. DLCs, keep the DLCs. The DLCs
Yeah.
were fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But give us 500 player tournaments.
Yeah.
Give us more ways to make it to the championships or to like qualify for smaller tournaments where the EV is better. So if you have like a regional where it's like, oh, you come top 8 of the regional, now you go to like this invite tournament, and instead of having to come first out of 2,000, now with the invite you come first out of like 100 or something.
Yeah, I want a UDS for.
Yo, imagine the belt,
UDS was
dude.
the Ultimate Duelist Series. Is
Yeah,
that what it was
yeah.
for Yu-Gi-Oh? The winner of like every time you won a UDS though, you for the next it's forever. Right?
Forever.
So
You have a 2-round bye, you get the belt.
Yeah, you get a belt. You get a sort of real belt, but you also get a 2-round bye at every white tail you went to, which is like their version of DLCs.
Forever.
Yeah.
Forever. That which is a little.
Is that
It's
still,
a little-
are there still people that show up
Yeah.
wearing
Yes.
the belt and they're like,
Yes,
oh,
Jesse Cotton from
Yeah,
Toronto.
it's a little broken, but it's sick.
Yeah, but it would be a cool like thing that they did if they did that. Like,
The only thing is you have to walk in, you gotta play the John Cena, like the champ is here, and you gotta show up.
yeah, they do the smoke and everything.
You gotta do the whole
yeah,
thing.
I don't
Fight,
believe you, but-
fireworks and everything, bro.
Jesse rolls in. He shows up in a speedo.
Yeah, I think I just really want to see a regional circuit.
Yeah.
I want to. I also want to like. I need them to give more cards that. I need more decks. I can't. I'll get bored of this.
Yeah,
Same few
it
things.
is.
I need more options, which is what again the colors.
Maybe more formats might be
The
solution,
color
not
restrictions. The color restrictions kind of make it tough. Where it's like, I can't just be like, oh, what if I played this card with this card and this card or whatever.
yet.
So
They could make a format where it's just you can play.
yeah, if there ends up being different formats and stuff like that, that'd be cool too.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think the biggest ones for me is like I need a regional circuit. I need somewhere where I can play more. I don't know. It's weird though because it's like I know this game's been really good with like giving out good prizing and stuff like that.
Very good.
Which it's that I don't know what their options are going to be. It depends on what they do for like a regional
Are they
level.
going to
Like
be able to top the prizes they did this year, or is it just going to plummet down?
Well, you keep the same prizes. You just run different promo cards. That's what my guess is they're gonna do.
Yeah, but are the promo cards in these new ones going to maintain value?
they depends on what they do. Like it's because it's like if we get like if the new promo cards are the next one is like that Madrigal girl and like
Yeah, like Dragonfire was really good. Let It Go, Rapunzel, Cindy, all very
Taft,
good
yeah,
cards.
Motten Fuzz,
Well,
and it's
if
like
we
yeah,
get-
they're not
like,
gonna be
if we
worth
get,
anything.
like, Scar from set 6, and like that's the promo card. Like that's the promo card for the set champs.
Yeah,
And it's like it's cool, but like it's not playable.
yeah. But no, like they did what? Like Cinderella, they did Rapunzel.
They need to keep
Cindy
doing set 1
Rapunzel.
cards because set 1 cards are going to be the hardest to find.
Yeah, but there's
Like,
cool
they should
stuff.
do a Maleficent, for example.
No, but yeah, but there's cool. Like they can do a bunch of stuff. They can do the,
Tamatoa would go hard.
no, but they can even do the new Mufasa. They can do the new like the set 5 Mufasa. They could, or they can even do the set 3 Mufasa. They could
There's a
do
bunch of them. There's a bunch of good cards that they could do. Elsa, every version of Elsa.
The
like,
Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbells.
yeah.
Ariel.
Imagine if they just did, like, for one series, every single promo is just a different Elsa. Every single Elsa in a promo.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. Yeah,
That'd be cool.
that's what I'm saying. There's
That's what I
options.
want. I want them to change it up though. I don't want to go into next year's like whatever competitive form they have and be like, we're using the same promos because like there's no point. Like it's cool, but like
It's also weird though. Like how many of those promos they still have? Like
Yeah. They probably have 100. They probably have 100.
that's what I mean though. If they still have so many of them left over, is they really gonna be like?
Someone's just gonna...
That's what I'm saying. They're gonna be like, dude, just keep throwing them out. That's what like Yu-Gi-Oh does.
Yeah, you get it.
Been getting the same deck boxes for years, bro. Like
They made 100 and went, oh, we're gonna give so many of these out. But we're only gonna give
they
like,
still on Nintendo. They just stopped giving out Nintendo Switches. They were giving us
Yeah,
these
they're
for
gonna-
like 8 years, bro. Like they got so many of them, man. They got more Switches than anyone.
Right.
So
Last thoughts?
yeah,
Yeah, no, I'm good.
that's it.
Any shout outs? Any social media? Follow you guys at?
At local level icon on Twitter, I tweet never, but
Yeah, so
I be
reply-
cooking locals, bro.
I reply tweet a lot. You can find me at Astro TCG.
Yeah.
I'm not a big social media guy, but maybe eventually put something up just to talk about Lorcana stuff.
Awesome
Yeah.
stuff. Alrighty, guys.
Cool.
Sweet.
Peace out.
Ciao.
Sick.